Should the new US-Pak-Saudi alignment be a cause of worry for India? Why Donald Trump is specifically reaching out to these particular countries and why it matters for India. Trump's foreign policy has always been unpredictable, but this term it has hit really close to our home. There is a renewed importance that has been given to Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia is Washington's key player in West Asia. But where does this leave India? With his term coming to a year end, we really need to see what is there for India to worry or not to worry. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and today we will be understanding that what are the reasons that US is growing their proximity with Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, and where does this leave US and India and their relationship. So let us begin with understanding that what exactly has been going on. So once President Donald Trump came back to the presidential seat in his term, we have seen that there has been an active engagement with Pakistan as well as Saudi Arabia, and the whole focus of his foreign policy has been on a transactional diplomacy. That means there is a give and take which is clearly involved. There is no downside for Washington that will be seen, and also on personal relationships and deal making. So there are new dynamics that are emerging. For example, US has counterterrorism priorities, Middle East strategic architecture, and Afghanistan's regional security as well. But this is where we have to understand that what are the strategic implications for our own country and where do we stand in this chaotically, dynamically changing partnerships across the world. So let us start with the first cozying up partner of US, that is Pakistan. What is the reason that US is inclining towards Pakistan? Because if you talk about Donald Trump's first presidential term, you will find that there was definitely a lot of pushing away from Pakistan, talking to them about counterterrorism, fining them and taking away funds as well. But this time it seems altogether different. Pakistan has a renewed importance, and there are very simple reasons why US is doing this. It is based on a transactional relationship where US is gathering a lot. For example, addressing the Afghanistan security needs. US wants to make sure that there is proper intelligence that comes to them that will be enabled through Pakistan. They should be able to counter the ISK operations, and there should be proper containment of Taliban, and all of this is being expected to be delivered via Pakistan. If you look at the recent Pak and Taliban regime which is present in Afghanistan, their issues, their disputes and fights that have been taken place, you will clearly understand that US has a back end in there. Other than that, US has renewed approach towards counter-terrorism as well, and US is expecting Pakistan to cooperate on counter-terrorism. So there is a renewed military coordination and potential resumption of the security aid which was taken aback in the first term. But this is where it becomes two-faced, because you cannot expect cooperation on counter-terrorism for a country which stands as a sponsor for terrorism. And another important factor that US has a renewed interest in Pakistan is the China factor. US does not want Pakistan to be exclusively dependent on China, and that is why, to reduce it, that is why Pakistan is being used as a potential swing state between US and China, because Pakistan is enjoying benefits from both, and Pakistan has been always a country which will swing according to the aids or the money that is being provided to them. So because of all this facilitation, there are certain important gains which are going towards Pakistan, and that remains India's major concerns, especially in this relationship. The first one being the enhanced geopolitical relevance that Pakistan is getting. Pakistan decides to boast up, give warnings and provocative statements against India as soon as it gets some support. And we have seen that, be it the statements that were given by Asim Munir when he was in US and other things as well. Other than that, it also gives them a diplomatic legitimacy when they are undergoing FATF scrutiny and they have already been grey-listed, they have been brought out of it, but they have been warned again to make sure that they are not participating in such financial transaction related to terrorism. And most importantly, Pakistan might get the revival of military sales as well as financial packages from US, which strengthens its position. Furthermore, Pakistan being the key player for Afghan security landscape, this also gives a greater freedom to them to reshape the whole Afghanistan narrative and contribute to it. And all of this facilitates them a clear opportunity which will amplify anti-India rhetoric internationally, because if they gain the legitimacy, they gain the narrative, they gain a platform, and they have US as an ally, this is not something that they will find difficult to, no matter what the consequence they have to bear after that. Now moving on to the second partnership that we have highlighted, that is between US and Saudi Arabia. So US and Saudi Arabia have enjoyed a strategic partnership. United States and Saudi Arabia had established their diplomatic relation back in 1933 itself, and they have been significant to each other, and the recent visit by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to Washington marks that. But they have seen the downsides as well, be it the 9/11 attack, be it the killing of Jamal Khashoggi. All of this, even after that, US banks upon Saudi Arabia as a key player in West Asia. And this is because of the energy security that Saudi Arabia brings in for US. It helps in stabilizing the oil markets and, most importantly, reconfirming the OPEC plus relations for US. Can you tell me in the comment section what organization is OPEC and what it is responsible for? Apart from that, Saudi Arabia plays a major role in Iran containment also. We know between Iran and Israel, US clearly sided with Israel, even though they are known for bringing the peace deal and the ceasefire. We have to understand that it has always been the hardline approach that US has used, especially with the support that it gets from Saudi Arabia. Apart from that, Iran is clearly helpful in maintaining the Gulf stability as a key player which is present in this very region. And we also get to see defense and investments. Massive arm deals take place, US-backed defense compact is there, and it has a very important role in Israel-Arab normalization 2.0, which has started in recent years. Now, in this, we have established just two touch points, US, Pakistan and Saudi, US. But there stands another focal point, that is Saudi and Pakistan as well. Saudi and Pakistan have recently signed a defense pact where an attack on one will be considered an attack on other, and Saudi Arabia has successfully fetched a nuclear-enabled state, that is Pakistan, on its side. And we clearly see a triangular axis that is developing, and this cannot be a good news for India. Now let us break that layer down. So as I pointed out, we are looking at a triangular nexus where Saudi has historically supported Pakistan. It has been renewed recently. Pakistan military ties with Saudi are part of training, security, and now the defense pact has added another layer to it. And if at all US and Saudi synergy deepens, Pakistan will also be in an advantageous position. That is why, as consequence for India, we will see reduced diplomatic pressure on Pakistan because it has two key players on its side. Pakistan will seek a stronger Gulf support on the Kashmir matter, and the Gulf labor quotas, which have been an important source of remittances for our country, they might tilt slightly away from India. The consequences and implications are far bigger than this as well. Now let us understand that. When we are talking about key concerns, it is not just about the labor quotas or the diplomatic presence. We have security dimensions as well here. So when we are talking about security dimensions, we have to understand there is the risk of Pakistan gaining military and intelligence support from US and Saudi, and that will ease the global pressure that India really wants to develop in terms of cross-border terrorism, because as a result of that, we have seen the Pahalgam terror attack, we have seen the Delhi blast, and India remains to be receiving end of the extremism and terrorism. Other than that, the Kashmir issue itself, as I said, Gulf might side with Pakistan, Gulf nations might take its side, might try to create pressure on India, and further it will leave a space where mediation might be on table, where Donald Trump has already offered, but as we know, as per the Shimla Agreement of 1972, it is a bilateral issue. Furthermore, there will be a strategic balance that will be required, because the US attention has been diverted, but US has continuously acknowledged that India is a strategic partner. Our Prime Minister has been considered as a friend by President Donald Trump. So, US here would need a proper balancing. This diverted attention could be regained, but we will be gradually understanding how. Another sort of concern that lies in front of us is energy and economic concerns. Saudi being a key player in the energy and oil market, we will have the coordination of US and Saudi influencing the global prices. This can impact our inflation also and current account deficit also. Furthermore, the investments, Saudi investment decisions, they might be tilted towards US-backed projects, they might be tilted towards Pakistan because of US influence, and that would be a loss there. And I've already mentioned about labor quotas and how they can affect our remittances as well. So, the consequences and concerns are far and wide. But the question is there anything that India should worry about and what should be done? So, in this particular context, we need to understand that this is a situation that yes, we should understand that this nexus has a lot of concerns, but this is the time we need proper strategic balancing and diplomacy to go to the forefront and play rather than overreactions. In this particular context, we have to understand that India and US's strategic relationship is absolutely structural. We have convergence on the Indo-Pacific issue. We are together present in Quad. We have defense interoperability, be it in form of COMCASA, LEMOA and BECA. And then the tech supply chain, which is trying to decouple from China, India stands strong as a contender right there. Pakistan cannot fill up this space, and same goes for Saudi as of now. Other than that, we also have to understand that India-Saudi ties as of now are stronger than ever. We are part of Strategic Partnership Council, we have high-level political trust, there is a large-scale economic, energy and defense cooperation that is taking place. And as coming to the third and the most weakest point of this nexus, we have to understand that Pakistan deep structural weaknesses lays it vulnerable, exposed, no matter what support is there. They have been crisis-laden economically. Their own internal political military instability has been there since forever, be it the recent amendment that gives immense power to Asim Munir and the limited long-term capacity, what they will be able to do just based on US goodwill. Every nation is looking out for their own strategic interest. US is not here to do any favor to Pakistan, so they have limited window even if they want to exploit something out of it. Now in this scenario, when we have understood that this is not the time for overreaction, we are very well placed in terms of our relation. The question is what can help to make this situation further better, and the betterment will come with the strategic options that we have in front of us. For example, diplomatic engagement, strengthening Middle East partnerships, focusing on regional balancing, and most importantly, security preparedness, upgrading borders, cyber surveillance, and coordinating with US, Gulf and EU for intelligence, security and better preparedness as well. And this is not all. India has a big advantage that lacks for Saudi and Pakistan and US, and that has always been a stronghold for India. That is the multi-alignment. India not only balances Gulf, Russia, Europe, Japan, ASEAN, but it also balances its adversaries such as China. It is not dependent on any single country. Its economy is booming, and the strategic weight and the position that it enjoys at the global level at this point of time is indispensable. So yes, the real risk is present, but it's limited, and it is a situation where we need to remain vigilant but not overreact to it. Now on this note, I will be leaving you with a practice question. I would also ask you to comment the way forward in this situation. What else do you think can be done? This is the practice question for the day. You can put down your answers in the comment section, and the answer for yesterday's question about AMR is A. I hope you have already answered it and it is correct. That was all for today. Thank you so much.